I've saved up quite a bit of money. I am Rose, looking at my phone and smiling suspiciously. I just turned 29 and I'm a working wife, married for 2 years. I can't stop grinning when my coworkers call me creepy. The reason why I'm finally going to be able to save up enough money to build the home of my dreams. The bank account balance shown on the phone was close to the target amount. Mark, my husband and I have no children yet. We've always thought that children would come after we built our own home. To tell the truth, I had wanted to enjoy being single a little more. I married him, who is older than me and in his mid-30s, because he insisted that I do so. That was when I was 27. It's awkward to be in the same office as my husband, even though we are in different departments, but if I change jobs, my salary will definitely go down. Anyway, I continued to work, saying that I would persevere for now. And finally, we were one step closer to purchasing our own home. How many years have passed? I have no problems with him, my work is good, and my savings are good. I get married in an ordinary way, work in an ordinary way, and buy my own home in an ordinary cordist. To continue to lead such an ordinary life, that is what made me happiest, I thought. However, life is not always as it seems. A tricky one for me is my relationship with my in-laws. That is the most problematic aspect of this marriage. After work, I return home to our rented apartment. It is a little cramped for 2 people, but we will have to put up with it until we can save up enough money for our own home. The moment I opened the front door, my fatigue increased at once. When I saw the shoes there, sigh, she is here again today. Sigh loudly in my mind.
Oh, welcome back. You're back late.
It's my mother-in-law, sitting slumped on a sofa in a small apartment.
Good evening, Mom.
You always come home this late?
It's always this way. She never says a word to me when I am late for work, and all that comes out of her mouth is complaining. Sorry, I've been working a lot. I'll have it ready in a moment.
Hours. I think you should be better at managing your time. Even though we work in the same company, our departments are completely different. There is almost no overtime work in his department. Well, mine has a lot of it. I'm Kihi, I'm Watino, but I have to work overtime to meet my targets. I am a salesperson, so I have to work overtime. I can't help it. A mother-in-law? Well, I'll be going no. Acts of McPeacher. See you tomorrow. Kung Pimes ICA in my mind again. I just want to rest, but I can't even do that in my own home. His salary is also low. My department is a key part of the company, so there are many important projects that I have to work overtime to finish. In return, the salary of my department is the highest. That would have been nice if he had told her about this, but he doesn't. Perhaps his pride gets in the way.
Since we are both working in the first place, it would be nice if he could do some of the housework. Yet he resolutely does nothing. No shopping, no laundry, no cleaning, no bathing or meal. Preparation. When he comes home from work, he's either watching TV or fiddling with his phone. But she doesn't know that, and that's why she's so sarcastic today too. Forget it, we've already had dinner together long ago.
What? Very good steaks. I just wanted to treat him to something nice once in a while.
I almost jumped out of my skin when I heard the name of the steakhouse at an upscale restaurant. I was surprised, but if she paid, I had no choice. So I turned to head for the kitchen to prepare my own dinner. Then she holds me back, saying, "Hey, Rose."
I'm sorry, but can you do me a favor? I'm having a hard time this month and was wondering if you could help me out a little.
I had a bad feeling. I knew she frequently asks for money like this. No, that's crazy. You went to an upscale steak restaurant, right? As I recall last month, you also asked me for money, saying you were having a hard time, right? I had no choice but to give you $300 because you were crying, even though we didn't have any money either. And before that, you also asked me for money, right? I suppressed the urge to say and smiled a tight smile. Sorry, this month has been hard for us too. But my mother-in-law continued. The parents are going through a hard time and you don't do anything about it. What a ruthless wife you are. Which is ruthless? I think your son, who does nothing to help at home and leaves his wife alone to go out for steak, is much more ruthless. My mother-in-law's son, Mark, my husband, opened his mouth there for the first time.
Girls are so stubborn. My mom's in trouble, okay? Give her a little help. Oh, come on, Mom. I'll give you some assistance. And he sighed and said, pulling out his wallet to give her $500. You know, so why, like, there's,
Hey, Mark, you are a really kind and good boy. I'm so proud of you. Rose, on the other hand, stared at me, who was speechless with surprise.
For people and wances to scaly. I relieved that she was leaving, but she was leaving. But she turned and glared at me again. Mark, if you want to divorce your wife who eats up your salary, you can always come back.
yeah, I'll think about it. Slamming the door roughly shut, then she left. And she left.
Hey, what's going on? Looking back, he's already lying on the couch with his phone in his hand.
He processed accordingly. I blamed my husband with such an attitude. Why did you give her $500? If you can afford it, put it into the family budget.
It's no wonder you make more money than I do.
That's only a little more than your salary. I'm strapped for cash with living expenses and savings.
Oh, as you can afford to save money, then you'll be fine. Come on.
He's at response to the word savings. He suddenly held out his hand to me. I gave $500 to my mom and I don't have any more money. Give me some. Don't be silly. He keeps his entire paycheck to himself. For rent. Yet he comes to me every month saying he doesn't have enough. Although I have been reluctant to give it to him until now because he told me that men have entertainment and specializing to do. Today, I will not give it to him so easily.
If I give you money, it's the same as if I gave it to your mother. Why should I pay you and her steak?
I mean, as it is, if you're too stingy, it means I have an ID. With that, he shut himself up in his bedroom, even locked the door with great care. It's a small apartment, so there's not a lot of space. Tube room, locked out of my bedroom. I had no choice but to sleep on the couch. In these stressful days, my solace is to look at my account balance because my mother-in-law came in and attacked me with sarcasm and demands for money. Sarcasm and demands for money.
So, I opened my phone before starting overtime at the office. I logged into my savings account from my single days. That's what I thought. and then I opened my eyes wide.
What the hell?
I stood up with a clatter, apologized profusely to my boss, and then went home.
Mark, I know you're in there.
I was mad. You're early today.
Beaton, his eyes widened in surprise. The steaks were all lined up in a row, and they looked so expensive, and he was not the only one surrounding it.
Oh, welcome back, Rose. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And my in-laws were there. Not only my mother-in-law, but also my father-in-law. What in the world could they be doing there?
What are you doing?
What do you mean? We're going to eat steak. Do you want some?
Where did you get that kind of money from?
Yeah, I had some extra income.
Did you say extra income?
Mark and his parents flinched when I approached them. I grabbed Mark by the bosom as if he had given up on me. He gave me something. It was the bank book of the bank account I had just checked online. I opened it vigorously, and then I looked at the statement and was immensely impressed.
What the hell? How did you pull it out?
I tried to use some passcodes and it worked.
It worked out, no kidding. What are you withdrawing people's money without asking?
The money I had been saving since I was single was being withdrawn in droves. I feel like I'm about to lose my temper with him.
Shut up. We're a married couple, aren't we? What's yours is mine.
Stop messing around. This is my hard-earned savings from my single days. Give it back.
Hey, Rose, how dare you? Of course, what belongs to the wife belongs to the husband, right?
I can't believe that you're saving such a large sum of money while being supported by Mark. You are a really clingy woman, Rose.
Yes, I'm just saying, you should be more grateful to me. So who do you think you owe your livelihood to? Who do you think you owe your livelihood to?
Oh my god!
Stop kidding. This is just like stealing. Give me that back. The word thieves must have made him cringe. He says irritably,
Do you forget I pay the rent here? Besides, I have a lot of socializing to do, and I'm even helping my parents. Saving all this money while paying rent, that's a good deal.
"'Cause all you're paying is rent. You hardly have any business entertainment. You are begging me for money after helping your parents.
Shut up. You are here to be my wife. So you are supposed to listen to me and my parents. Be thankful I'm not divorcing a useless piece of shit like you.
He shouted, and what a surprise. They put and kicked me out.
Hey, what are you doing?
I've no steak to give you. Go outside and chill your head.
I didn't expect to get kicked out. I was stunned for a while, but eventually decided to stay at a business hotel that day. When I returned home the next day, the only person waiting for me was Mark. I was glad my in-laws were not there, but Mark quickly held a piece of paper in front of my eyes. The paper said divorce registration. The section on Mark has been politely filled out.
What's this?
Listen, if once I have me up, advising you now on my day from now on, I'll divorce you immediately. If you don't want a divorce, just shut up and do what I say, and I'll manage the savings. I'm going out for a drink. What's your problem with me? We're getting a divorce, okay?
How stupid you are. Does he think I'll listen to him if he threatens divorce? My love for him had already completely disappeared for me. Besides, he took the bank book with him, but don't tell me... Still think you have deposits? I've long since withdrawn all that stuff and transferred it to another account. I've multiple accounts because I am not comfortable keeping large sums of money in one account. The bank book he held in his hand was just one of them. I filled out my portion of the remaining divorce papers. You really are stupid, Mark. Leaving me with signed divorce papers is not just a threat, it's wishful on my part. But as soon as I finished the divorce papers, I hurriedly packed my things and left the house. Another night in a business hotel, and the next day I took a day off from work and filled out the divorce papers as soon as the government office opened. Further on, I headed to the real estate agency. In fact, I found a property I was interested in when I was looking at the phone last night at the business hotel. Newly built single-family home, to train station, good location for commuting. It was close to love at first sight. The exterior and interior were almost my ideal. I previewed the house and made an immediate decision to buy it on the spot. From then on, it was a full day of activity. It would be too expensive to live in a business hotel until I moved out. I told my friend about the situation and was allowed to stay at her house while I prepared for my new home. Furniture will have to be furnished from scratch, and there are various procedures. Due to my dizzying business, I had completely forgotten about my ex-husband and ex-parents-in-law.
Okay, Rose.
That's why I was so surprised when I saw Mark go to my department one day. Oh, by the way, it was the same company, I thought.
Why didn't you answer the phone?
I didn't think I needed to. Come to think of it, he called me several times. I ignored it because I was busy and it was a hassle.
You took the money out of the account. You took the money out of the account without my permission. Screw you. And why don't you come home? Do you really want to get divorced?
Oh, it's okay, we are already divorced. Also, the money in the account is mine. What I do is my business.
Etcher, as usual, he still thinks the keyword divorce is such a threat. Mark's face becomes a stupid face when I see it. When I said it so matter-of-factly, "What an ugly face, LOBU." Mark replied, "Divorce, what are you up to?"
Yes, I responded. Because you prepared it for me, thankfully I submitted it. I didn't approve of it. You don't have to admit it. The divorce is final. I also told the company and the procedure is complete. You might have some procedures too, so make sure you report it to your boss, okay?
I returned my attention to the computer, indicating with an attitude that I was done talking. I am busy.
Divorced? Then where do you live now? And, leave your stuff at home?
Ian applied. I left with what I needed, so it's okay. The other things I bought new and live comfortably, so I'm doing fine. Mark then asked, so where you live now? I responded, it's not about you. I also added anything more would be a matter of privacy. Would you mind not prying into me? When I told him that, he shut up. In the end, he was unable to resist the stares of my colleagues and supervisors and left the department without saying a word. My coworkers commiserated with me, saying, "It must be hard for you too, Rose."
It described my new home as a great place to live. The smell of new construction is irreplaceable, and it is spacious, relaxing, and comfortable. However, I had just moved in and needed a few things. At that moment, the intercom rang. Oh, it arrived, I thought, and opened the front door. I regretted opening it and cursed myself for not looking at the intercom.
She said, Long time no see, Rose. I'm coming in. I protested. Oh, wait. But she didn't hear me and came into the house. She walked around the room as if she was trying to figure out the value of the room and said, "It's a nice property."
This property? Oh, I like this furniture too. Take it to my room. Oh, you have fireplace too? Great. So this is where we'll be staying.
What's with these curtains? They're in poor taste. Give me the money and I'll choose for you. The yard is pretty big too. I'm going to start gardening.
What are these people saying? I looked back at Mark with a confused head. I tried to ask him what was going on, but she interrupted me. I look at her face in frustration, and she has a look of triumph.
Be glad, Rose. It's not a big house, but it's an okay gift for the parents. If it's a duplex, I'll move in. Of course, you, the wife, do the housework. I will allow you an allowance of $1,000 a month. And for us...
Yeah, what am I being told? Are they aliens? I tilted my head because I didn't understand it. You say the wife, I'm already single. Excuse me? As surprised as you were. Mark, you didn't tell them I don't approve, even if he didn't admit it, exclaiming the divorce was already final. We are complete strangers. When I said this, my ex-mother the in-law's face turned blue. What heck is it you're abandoning us? Your parents? My parents live in the country. I'm thinking of calling them and soon stop kidding around. This house belongs to us. No, it is mine. What is she gonna say? This is a house in my name that I bought with money I saved. Then where do you want us to live? I don't know anything about that. To my surprise, I heard that my parents-in-law's house was for sale. They've already signed that contract. They were planning to live comfortably in this house with the money from the sale of the house, and the money they will get from me. Not from me. What a terrible plan anyway. I don't approve of it. She still says, but it doesn't matter if you don't approve. We are strangers now, and the house is mine.
I won't. I won't admit it. I will never admit it.
So she shouted, and to my surprise and her anger, she tore the curtains.
Wait, what are you doing?
This stuff. I don't need this bad taste stuff. This is my home, and I will do what I want.
Yes, my wife's things are mine. What's yours is mine. Listen, I'm not getting a divorce, and me and they're staying here.
Then he shouted, wow, it's getting out of control. Patience, I was in trouble when I finally heard the sirens. I made a sneaky phone call as soon as Merck and my ex-mother-in-law entered the house. The police finally showed up.
Hey, what are you doing?
We haven't done anything wrong.
Yes, you're right. It's this woman you were talking with.
The three of them were wildly yelling and screaming at the police. If you enter someone's house without permission, you are guilty of breaking and entering. If you break someone's property, you are guilty of damaging property. Don't these people understand things? After a brief commotion, the three were taken away. Although they were not arrested, it was like a stormy day. A few days later, after being released by the police, Mark came to me several times to press me to get back together with him. Each time he was arrested by the police, he also followed me around. What? So I talked to my boss about it, and he gave him a stern warning: the assault on the new house and spending the wife's savings. As a result, Mark began to be looked at with disdain by everyone. Can had difficulty finding new employment. My former in-laws took the money from selling the house and moved themselves into a cheap apartment where Mark and I were living. The in-laws' house was old and unkempt, so it must not have been worth much money. The three of them will probably live in the small apartment without money. Finally, free of everything, I live a comfortable life in my own home. I asked my parents in the countryside if they would live with me, but they have no intention of leaving yet. So for the time being, I am living comfortably by myself. If I meet the right person, I would like to remarry, but not yet. Anyway, I would love to have a dog, one that I couldn't have in my apartment. Let's try vegetable gardening and invite friends over for home parties. From now on, I want to live happily by doing so and trying new things that I haven't been able to do before. I thought as I looked out the window at the blue sky,